5 signs they're emotionally mature enough for marriage. Most divorces don't happen because of big catastrophic events. They happen because one or both people weren't emotionally mature enough for marriage to begin with. You can love someone deeply and still be incompatible for marriage if they lack the emotional maturity to handle conflict, responsibility, and the mundane reality of lifelong partnership. Before you propose, before you say, "I do," you need to know if she's emotionally mature enough to be a wife. By the end of this video, you'll know the 5 signs that separate women who are ready for marriage from women who will make marriage miserable, no matter how much you love each other. Sign 1. She takes responsibility for her emotions and actions, not a perpetual victim. Emotional maturity begins with accountability. A woman who is ready for marriage takes responsibility for her emotions, her choices, and her contributions to problems. She doesn't blame everyone else for everything that goes wrong in her life. She doesn't play the victim when things get hard. She owns her mistakes, apologizes genuinely, and makes changes. Watch if she owns her mistakes and apologizes genuinely. When she's wrong, she admits it without excuses or deflection. Her apologies are real. "I was wrong. I'm sorry. I'll do better." She doesn't apologize just to end the argument. She means it and changes behavior. Women who can't admit fault will make you responsible for everything in marriage. Marriage requires 2 people who can own their contributions to problems. Notice if she blames everyone else for her problems. Her problems are never her fault. It's always her boss, her family, her ex, you, the world. She positions herself as a perpetual victim of circumstances. She takes no responsibility for patterns in her life. If everything is always someone else's fault, you'll become the next person she blames. She manages her emotions rather than being controlled by them. She feels emotions but doesn't let them dictate every action. She can be upset without having a meltdown. She can regulate herself without making her emotions your emergency. Marriage involves stress, conflict, disappointment. She needs to handle emotions like an adult. Feeling emotions is human. Being controlled by them is immaturity. And she can reflect on her behavior and make changes. She's capable of self-reflection and recognizing patterns. When you point out an issue, she considers it rather than getting defensive. She demonstrates actual behavior change over time. People who can't reflect on themselves can't grow. Marriage with them is stagnation. Why this matters for marriage? Marriage magnifies existing patterns. Victim mentality becomes insufferable over decades. If she can't take responsibility now, she never will. You'll spend your marriage walking on eggshells, managing her emotions, being blamed for everything. David dated Rachel for 2 years before seriously considering marriage. Early on, he noticed a pattern. Whenever something went wrong, it was never Rachel's fault. Bad day at work? Her boss was unfair. Fight with her sister was toxic. Financial problems? The system was rigged. Argument with David was being insensitive. 2 years, and Rachel had never once said, "I was wrong, I'm sorry," and meant it. David's father told him, "Son, if she can't take responsibility for anything now, imagine what marriage will be like. Every problem will be your fault. Every conflict will be you apologizing to keep the peace." David realized his father was right. Rachel wasn't emotionally mature enough for marriage. She was still operating like a child, expecting everyone else to manage her emotions and fix her problems while she took zero responsibility. So test accountability. When conflicts arise, does she ever admit fault, or is everything always your problem? Notice victim patterns. Is she perpetually the victim in every story about her life? Observe emotional regulation. Can she handle disappointment without melting down? Look for growth. Has she demonstrated real behavior change based on self-reflection? Don't marry a perpetual victim. If she can't take responsibility for herself, you'll carry that burden forever. Sign 2. She handles conflict constructively, not destructive drama. How someone fights tells you everything about their maturity. Emotionally mature women fight to resolve issues, not to win or hurt you. They don't scream, call names, bring up the past, or make threats. They don't give silent treatment or disappear during conflict. They stay, communicate, and work towards solutions. She fights fair without low blows. During conflict, she addresses the actual issue, not your character. No name-calling, no personal attacks, no bringing up past mistakes. She fights to resolve, not to destroy. Women who fight dirty will make marriage a battlefield. Marriage means decades of conflicts. You need someone who can fight constructively. Marcus dated 2 women seriously before meeting his wife. The first, Jennifer, would explode during arguments, screaming, crying, bringing up every mistake Marcus had ever made, threatening to leave, then giving silent treatment for days. Marcus lived in constant anxiety about setting her off. The second, Amy, was different. When they disagreed about something important, where to live, how to handle finances, Amy would state her position clearly, listen to Marcus's, and work toward compromise. When emotions got high, Amy would say, "Let's take a break and come back to this when we're calmer." Then she would come back, as promised, to resolve it. Marcus realized Amy fought to solve problems. Jennifer fought to punish. Marcus married Amy. Years later, when facing major decisions, career changes, parenting disagreements, family conflicts, Marcus knew he'd married the right person. Amy approached every conflict as something they'd solve together, not battles she needed to win. So pay attention to how she fights. Does she fight fair or use low blows and manipulation? Notice de-escalation ability. Can she calm things down or does she escalate until explosion? Test compromise. Is she willing to meet halfway or does she need to win every disagreement? Look for repair attempts. After conflict, does she make genuine efforts to reconnect and resolve? Sign 3. She has her own life, goals, and identity, not codependent. Emotionally mature women have their own lives, interests, friendships, and goals that exist independent of you. They don't make you their entire world or expect to be yours. They have identity outside the relationship. This is crucial for marriage because codependency destroys relationships. She has her own interests and hobbies. She pursues activities she enjoys that don't involve you. She has passions and interests independent of the relationship. She doesn't abandon herself to become whatever you want. Women with their own interests are more interesting and less clingy. You need a partner with a life, not someone who makes you their life. She maintains her own friendships. She has real friendships that she invests in. She doesn't abandon all her friends the moment she's in a relationship. She values social connection outside of you. Women who isolate themselves in relationships become emotionally dependent vampires. Healthy people have healthy social circles. Isolation breeds codependency. She has her own goals and ambitions. She's working toward something: career, education, personal growth, creative pursuits. She has direction in her life that doesn't revolve entirely around you. She's building something for herself. Partners with their own goals are more fulfilled and less resentful. And she can be happy independently. Her happiness doesn't solely depend on you. She can be alone without falling apart. She enhances your life, doesn't complete it. If she can't be happy alone, she won't be happy with you long term. People who need someone to complete them create unsustainable pressure. Why this matters for marriage: codependency creates resentment, pressure, and eventual implosion. You need a partner who adds to your life, not someone whose life you have to carry. Marriage works when 2 whole people choose each other, not when 2 incomplete people cling together. When James started dating Lisa, he noticed she had a full life. She worked as a graphic designer, building her freelance business. She played tennis twice a week with friends. She volunteered at an animal shelter. She had dinner with her college roommates monthly. Lisa enjoyed spending time with James, but she also had her own life that didn't revolve around him. James's previous girlfriend, Monica, had been different. Monica had no real hobbies, few close friends, and no clear goals. Within weeks of dating, Monica's world became entirely James. If James wanted space, Monica panicked. If James was busy, Monica was devastated. Monica expected James to be her entertainment, her purpose, her everything. It was suffocating. James realized Monica had needed James to complete her. Lisa wanted James to enhance her already full life. 10 years into marriage, James was grateful he'd married Lisa. She still had her interests, her friends, her goals. Their marriage was strong because both of them were strong individually. So notice what she has outside you. Does she have her own interests, friends, goals? Watch if she abandons herself. Does she drop everything to become what you want? Test independence. Can she be happy when you're not available, or does she fall apart? Look for balance. Does she invest in the relationship and herself, or only the relationship? Sign 4. She's financially responsible and realistic, not entitled or delusional. Financial maturity is emotional maturity. A woman ready for marriage understands money, manages her finances responsibly, and has realistic expectations about lifestyle. She doesn't live beyond her means, rack up debt for image, or expect you to fund a lifestyle neither of you can afford. She manages her money responsibly. She has a budget, saves money, doesn't live paycheck to paycheck through poor choices. She's not drowning in credit card debt from shopping addiction or lifestyle inflation. She understands basic financial principles. Financial irresponsibility doesn't magically fix after marriage, it worsens. You're merging financial futures. Her financial immaturity becomes your problem. She has realistic expectations about lifestyle. She doesn't expect champagne lifestyle on beer budget. She understands what's financially achievable for both of you. She's not demanding a wedding, house, lifestyle you can't afford. Women with unrealistic expectations create perpetual financial stress. Instagram isn't reality. Mature women understand this. Immature ones don't. And she contributes or pulls her weight. If she works, she contributes financially to the household. If she doesn't work, she contributes in other significant ways. She doesn't expect to be fully financially supported while contributing nothing. Partnerships require both people pulling weight. Expectations should be discussed and reasonable. And she doesn't see you as an ATM. She doesn't expect you to fund her lifestyle, pay all her bills, or solve all her financial problems. She values you for who you are, not what you can provide financially. She'd be with you even if you made less money. If her interest correlates with your income, she's not mature, she's transactional. Why this matters for marriage? Financial conflict destroys marriages faster than almost anything. If she's financially irresponsible or unrealistic now, marriage magnifies this. You need a partner who's financially mature, or you'll spend marriage fighting about money. Kevin met 2 women who showed him the extremes. First was Brittany. Brittany had a good job but was always broke because she overspent on clothes, travel, and lifestyle to maintain an image. She had significant credit card debt. She expected Kevin to pay for expensive dates and talked about wanting a lavish wedding they couldn't afford. When Kevin suggested living within their means, Brittany said he was being cheap. Kevin realized Monica's financial immaturity would ruin him. Then Kevin met Elena. Elena made less than Brittany, but managed money wisely. She saved, budgeted, and lived within her means. Elena offered to split checks, was excited about building a life together within their actual budget, and talked about financial goals they could work toward. When Kevin proposed, Elena wanted a meaningful wedding they could afford, not a spectacle they'd be paying off for years. 10 years into marriage, Kevin and Elena were financially stable, no debt, building wealth together. Kevin shuddered thinking what his life would have been with Brittany. So assess financial responsibility. Does she manage money well or live beyond her means? Notice expectations. Are her lifestyle expectations realistic or delusional? Discuss finances openly. Before marriage, have frank discussions about money, debt, expectations. Watch for entitlement. Does she expect you to fund her life while she contributes nothing? Before we get to the final sign, if this video is helping you think clearly about marriage before making a life-changing decision, hit that subscribe button. We give men the truth they need about relationships, not fairy tales. Now let's talk about the last sign. Sign 5. She respects you and treats you with kindness, not contempt. The foundation of emotional maturity in relationships is respect and kindness. A woman ready for marriage respects you, your time, your work, your thoughts, your boundaries. She's kind to you, consistently, not just when things are good. She doesn't mock you, emasculate you, or treat you with contempt. She respects your time, work, and efforts. She values what you do and doesn't minimize your contributions. She appreciates your work even if it's not perfect. She respects your time and doesn't make constant, unreasonable demands. Women who don't respect your contributions now will resent you in marriage. Respect is the foundation of partnership. Without it, marriage is misery. She's kind even when she's upset. During conflict or stress, she doesn't become cruel or contemptuous. She can be angry without being abusive. Her default toward you is kindness, not criticism. How she treats you when upset reveals her character. Kindness under stress is the test of true character. She doesn't emasculate, mock, or belittle you. She doesn't tear you down in front of others. She doesn't mock your interests, ambitions, or vulnerabilities. She builds you up, doesn't break you down. Women who emasculate their partners create resentment that kills relationships.
Why this matters for marriage? Gottman's research shows contempt is the #1 predictor of divorce. If she doesn't respect you now, marriage gives her permission to disrespect you more. You need a partner who's kind and respectful, especially when things are hard. Robert dated Chelsea for a year before noticing a pattern. Chelsea would mock him. At first, he thought it was just teasing, but over time, Robert noticed Chelsea would belittle his job, dismiss his opinions, and laugh at his interests, especially in front of her friends. Chelsea would roll her eyes when Robert talked, call him boring when he discussed work, and tell stories that made him look stupid. Robert felt smaller and smaller. When Robert proposed a promotion opportunity, Chelsea said, "You think they'd actually promote you?" Robert finally saw it. Chelsea didn't respect him. She treated him with contempt. Robert broke up with Chelsea and eventually met Sarah. Sarah was different. She respected Robert's work, encouraged his ambitions, and spoke of him with pride to her friends. When Robert achieved the promotion, Sarah was genuinely happy for him. 10 years into marriage, Robert was grateful he'd walked away from contempt and chosen respect. So notice how she treats you. Is the default kindness and respect, or criticism and contempt? Listen to how she talks about you. Does she build you up or tear you down to others? Watch behavior under stress. Is she still kind when things are hard? Pay attention to belittling. Does she mock, emasculate, or minimize you? If you want to understand what makes women deeply attracted to men beyond just these maturity signs, watch our video on the specific feeling men give women that creates lasting attraction and devotion. Understanding what women truly want could transform your relationships. Links in the description. Marriage is the most important decision you'll make. Who you marry determines your happiness, your financial future, your peace of mind, and whether you spend your life with a partner or a burden. Emotional maturity isn't about perfection. It's about someone who can take responsibility, handle conflict constructively, maintain their own identity, manage money responsibly, and treat you with respect and kindness. If she has these 5 signs, she's mature enough for marriage. If she doesn't, no amount of love will make marriage work. You can love someone deeply and still recognize they're not ready to be a wife. Look honestly at the woman you're with. Does she take responsibility or play victim? Does she fight fair or dirty? Does she have her own life or make you her entire world? Is she financially mature or irresponsible? Does she respect you or treat you with contempt? If she has 3 or fewer of these 5 signs, she's not ready for marriage. And marrying her anyway is choosing a future of conflict, resentment, and likely divorce. The pain of walking away now is less than the pain of divorcing her later. If this video helped you think clearly about marriage before making a life-changing decision, subscribe to this channel. We give men the truth they need to hear about relationships, not fairy tales. Drop a comment telling me which sign you think is most important. Or if you married a woman with these qualities or without them, share what your marriage is like. Your experience might help another man make the right choice. You deserve a partner who is emotionally mature enough to handle the reality of marriage. Don't settle for someone who isn't ready just because you love them. Love isn't enough. Maturity matters. Character matters. Choose wisely, brothers. Your future depends on it.